rolling back segregation. What are we going to do?
Not one goddamn thing. Not one goddamn thing. I speak for myself, just my personal opinion, but I done speaking about this and I spoke to leaders. And everybody I speak to say it's probably going to be the best thing that ever can happen to black people. A mandate for us to unite without consumption power. We got the greatest consumption power in the world. And you gonna mandate us to unite? Yeah. Ever since we integrated, our economic state has been worse. Our families have been torn apart. And when we made a decision to chose that, we got what we got now. And everybody that I see, that's why you don't hear no outcry from black people about this new executive order about segregation. I don't think we give a damn about it.
I tell you, all my black people are understanding the assignment about this segregation stuff. Y'all are understanding the assignment. It's like we're all united. Like we understand the assignment. Like we get it, right? So I seen a video today by a non-black person, right? And she was saying, they're trying to bring back segregation. What are we going to do, right? Like we have to help, yada, 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 right? And so every black person I see in the comments, like, we ain't doing nothing. We finna go line dancing. Everybody like, I need to give me some boots. I need to figure out how to do the, where them fans at dance. They was like, we taking naps, baby. I done booked my vacation. Everybody just in the comments, and the lady's like, oh my gosh. She was like, yeah, I get it. But ma'am, listen, we do not care. We need to bring that sound back because we're not doing nothing at all. Like we ain't playing into the trap. We know what y'all want. We not doing it. We ain't got no capes. We capeless. We not Captain Save or nobody. Do it. Do what you want to do. Y'all been doing what y'all want to do for years. Why are we not crying? Keep passing the vibe check. Cause y'all eating down in them comments. Love y'all. Bye.
What's even worse is the amount of people that I'm seeing commenting that are like, yeah, good. I hope he brings it back. And most of those people do not look like me. Yeah, so I don't know why you would want that. Sounds pretty damn hateful to me. He did not bring back segregation. What he did is try to protect women and children in bathrooms. I don't see where that's a problem. I would prefer to not have to worry about being in a restroom with a man walking in. Just a thought. I do have a daughter. I'd like to know that she's safe when she's in there. So, yeah. Trump did not bring back segregation. He did not bring back racial segregation for those in the back.
Hello guys, welcome back to today's episode and thank you so much for tuning in. In case you're watching us for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe. As always, I'm your host, African Beast, and today's episode we are actually unpacking why black folks no longer fear segregation more than white palm colored people. And that is what we'll be unpacking, and let me know your opinion in the comment section. But I feel that this is an interesting topic pretext to 2025 when most of the black folks said they no longer fear segregation. But let's be real, if you go to the history of growth of USA, we all know that USA grew up, or rather blew up economically, because of the hard labor of black slaves. This actually tells you that, black folks are in a way self-sufficient. But let's focus even more. During the Jim Crow laws, we all know that the white people and the black folks were separated. And they thought, because this separation was actually engineered by white folks, and we know that they thought maybe they will flourish. But what happened? The black people built towns. The black people, progressed. Despite that, they were denied incentive. They were denied support. They were denied some of the basic resources like land, but still, black folks build cities like Wall Street. And when the palm-colored people saw this, they actually did what they do best. They came, demolished, destroyed. So guys, without saying much, let's dive in fast and watch the videos. Then I come back with more commentaries.
White people, how do you feel about the segregation ban? I already know how people of color feel in other minorities, but what about y'all? How do you feel about this? Like, are you happy? I know that's kind of like a setup, huh? Because if you're all like, yeah, then I'm like, oh, we found him. But no, I'm like curious, like, because I mean, it doesn't really affect y'all.
Rolling back segregation. What are we going to do?
They're like, yeah, good. I hope he brings it back. And most of those people do not look like me. Yeah, so I don't know why you would want that.
Then people want us to be mad so bad. I don't know. Segregation being bad don't sound too bad to me. You mean to tell me I don't have to guess if my mac and cheese got raisins in it or not? You mean to tell me when I walk into a bathroom, it's going to be clean with R&B playing? You mean to tell me I get to pick the best restaurants to go to? I don't have to guess. Bro, we're about to be living like the kings and queens that we are. And I feel like this is going to backfire real bad. Because realistically, we make everything. Nobody's going to want to go to the other side. Even the people that aren't on that side but are, you know, the ones with common sense. They're going to be so mad. Going to be on one side with the boring cookout and then looking at the other side with our cookout. And they're going to be looking like, why did y'all do this? Me personally, I feel like segregation being back is just grounds for we're about to take over everything. You know what? I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I really can't because that sounds lit.
The reality is that black people live very, very full lives and white people aren't even a thought. Like, black people tend to live their lives in a way where we do not think about what white people are doing. And that is very true. It is very factual. A lot of black people only interact with white people because they go to work with them, right? So if they do not work with white people and you're black, how many times are you socializing with white people outside of work? For a lot of black people, you don't really socialize a lot of times at work, after work, you know, with white people. And so when you have that reality, then it begs for you to be able to go down a line of questioning, right? Which is, what is the issue with segregation? And I've seen some white people on here that was like, you know, white people should be saying that segregation is bad. And the reality is that no, that's not really the problem, right? Because the problem is that we were separate and not equal. That's the problem. It was the maltreatment. Because the reality is that we are no longer segregated, but yet we are still mistreated. We still are not offered the same amount of opportunities. We are still not paid the same rate. We are still not afforded the equality of it. So what white people did was, okay, fine. We will desegregate. It's fine. But once black people entered these spaces, we were still being mistreated. And so the question could actually be, if we had equality, right? If we had equal access to buying land, equal access to be able to garner wealth, equal pay, and we were never desegregated, would desegregation actually be necessary? And there is when you take a look at what was happening with the Tulsa riot, is the fact that black people were equal and separate. Right? They had land, they had businesses, they were accruing wealth. It was the wealthiest black community. And white people who were not a part of the community, very much separate, and yet we are equal, right? They have banks, they have people that build, they have people that, you know, grocery stores, they have houses, they have neighborhoods, they have milkmen, they have mailmen. White people have their own neighborhoods. White people have their own businesses. White people have their own groceries. White people have their own things. Separate, but very much equal. And white people looked over and said, what are they doing over there? And bombed it. Right? Because otherwise, If black people continue on prospering on their own, why would any black person say, I need to be over there? There's an argument for that. And so then when you look further, taking a look at desegregation, right? Whose lives improved due to closer proximity of white and black people? White people. Their lives improved. Their logic improved. All of a sudden, they begin to be enlightened on the reality of the fact that they themselves were lied to. Otherwise, had they not come into proximity with black people, there is no reason for them to believe that their ancestors ever did anything wrong. Or there's also no reason to believe that they are more like black people than what they were told. Because many, many years ago, the Republican Party, right, they said that the way that you are able to steal from poor white people is to convince them that they're better than black people. And if you can convince them of that, you can steal money from out of their pockets and they would never notice. So here we are, where we are no longer desegregated. And you see all over this app where you have white people that are learning a lot about historical truths that black people already knew. We already knew these things. But you have white people on a daily that are like, I didn't know that. That's not what I was taught. I wasn't taught that, right? You have whole religious sects of people that were literally taught that the Civil War was not about slavery. You literally have all of these white people that had no clue that Juneteenth existed, or why it existed, or how many years it actually took post-emancipation for the last slave to actually be freed. Proximity has caused for a lot of the misinformation fed to white people to perpetuate racism, to be dismantled. And so you literally have people that are white nationalists. I need you to follow. You literally have people that are white nationalists that are now running the Republican Party, right? In order for them to bring white people back into subjugation, we have to separate them from minorities, because they are learning truths that causes it to be extremely difficult for us to tell them that black people are subservient. Because proximity means that you are able to identify where we overlap. Now they're understanding the humanity of minorities. And now they're not going to go along with the Aryan beliefs that white people are the elite race and they are better than another ethnic group and they deserve to have things by virtue of them being white. Do you see how segregation has nothing to do with black people and has everything to do with getting white people back in line? Are you understanding what's going on here? Because it's never for the sake of black people, which is why black people is like, we cool. Segregate, separate, illuminate, elucidate, do whatever you got to do. And that is a very true reality. Because we have only known desegregation. But we have also only known that when we're in your proximity, we are still killed. We are still murdered. We are still mistreated. We are still shunned. We do not have the same access, even though we are in closer proximity. So if our lives have not changed by becoming in closer proximity, why would we continue to be close? Okay, separate us. But you have white people that are like, no, segregation is wrong. Why? Because your life has changed because of proximity. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? Do you get this now? Are you tracking? The segregation thing has nothing to do with black people and everything to do with trying to put white people back in their place. Okay? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
let's talk about Jim Crow for a moment. Because I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, y'all want segregation. Y'all want to bring segregation back. So basically, y'all asking for Jim Crow to come back. No, let's clear something up really, really quick. During Jim Crow era, they taught the so-called white people were better than so-called black people. White supremacy was implemented in Jim Crow time. This 2025, the truth is out. Everybody know that so-called whites are not better than so-called blacks. That's why the main people that's not wanting this segregation to happen is so-called whites. They want to be a part of what we're doing. They want to know what's going on with us. They want to be included. You know why? Because the truth is out. And they know that so-called blacks are superior to them and always have been. That Jim Crow era BS, that was indoctrination that was being pushed on so-called whites to teach them that they are better than a so-called black person, that they are smarter than a so-called black person, that they are more worthy than a so-called black person, that they are superior to a so-called black person. So we're not asking for Jim Crow back, because Jim Crow, you got us messed up. We already know who we are. Like the Most High said, that we're above all nations that are upon the face of the earth. So we're not declaring Jim Crow. We're simply declaring segregations. That means so-called whites, y'all go y'all way, and us so-called blacks will go our way. That's what we're declaring. They fear being separated from so-called black people, because we the salt of the earth. We invent everything. We get everything jumping. Without us, they would not know what to do, y'all. So we have to remember, during Jim Crow times, so-called blacks was treated horribly, so bad. And whites were treated so good. I'll be damned we go back to Jim Crow, because we know the truth now. We know that so-called white people are not superior. It's just a front. It's just a front. It's just a put on. But we know America is falling. And the truth is coming out. And these so-called whites are being exposed for the people that they are and have been for hundreds and hundreds of years. And the hidden hate that they have had towards our people, and try to still use it to today. But we know their false white supremacy is crumbling right before their eyes. Like I said, a kingdom against itself shall fall. And that's what we see in Babylon right now. America is crumbling. It's falling because they're separated. They can't even agree. The kingdom is falling from within. But Jim Crow, his biggest fear, check this out. Jim Crow's biggest fear was so-called black people coming together in unity. Wow. Coming together in unity. And that's even active and alive today in America. They still push that propaganda to separate so-called blacks, to keep us feuding and fighting with one another. Just check out the workplace. You always got a coon somewhere running to the white man's office, snitching on his brother or sister. This was implemented hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago that still has an effect on our people. But when we say segregation, we're not talking about Jim Crow, because today we're superior. Today, 2025, we are above all nations of people that are upon the face of the earth. So today, it'll be segregation. So-called blacks will be superior. So-called whites will be inferior. It won't be no Jim Crow. Now you can stamp that, sign that, and take that to the bank. We standing on that.